What's a second derivative of the jobs market look like, Randy? When it moves, does it move?
And that's the key question, exactly what you were talking about. What does this portend for the trajectory going forward? Certainly, we're seeing a slowing pace over the last few months, downward revisions. And then the question is, will this be nice and smooth, or will this portend something that is going to be, as Lisa mentioned before, nonlinear? Very difficult to predict any nonlinear moves and things, but I do think it's consistent with a somewhat softening labor market. I think the Fed will certainly be heartened by the wage growth coming down a bit over time. I think this takes the wind out of the sails of those who wanted to go further. I think it makes it much more likely that we will just hold where we are for a while. But so far, there's nothing in this to suggest that the Fed is going to be eager to cut or be even talking about cutting anytime soon.
Do you think, Randy, as some people are pointing to manufacturing as a point of weakness, that is a leading indicator in the way it has been in previous times, just because of how many people were hired during the peak of the pandemic?
It is certainly one area that there was a lot of bounce back because, of course, people wanted things, but now people want services, and so the services part is still extremely important. I wouldn't put too much emphasis on any one particular sector. I think you have to look overall. And as Mike had said, we're seeing a little bit of slowdown broadly, but not enormous amount of slowdown. But I do think this is consistent with, in some sense, where the Fed wants to go. They want to see the unemployment rate go up a little bit, not too much. They want to see wage growth come down a little bit, but not too much. And I think it's just going to be tougher to be hiring people going forward. Until just a few months ago, real wages were not growing. They were actually negative. Real wage growth was negative. Now real wage growth is positive. So it gives less of an incentive for firms to hire. Real interest rates are now positive. They had been negative for a very long time. That combination is probably going to lead firms to be less eager to hire, less eager to invest. And I think that's going to be leading to what I think is potentially a hardish, but not hard, landing.